The best camera is the one that you have with you.
Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Zulfi and you're here at Zulf Photography on YouTube. In this episode I'll cover the types of cameras available to you, the benefits of some cameras over others. We'll do a quick eBay search to see what the current market is for cameras. I'll do an explanation of limitations of different type of cameras and camera capabilities, and I'll give you a little final thought on cameras. If you like this series of videos, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and follow me on social media. If you have any questions, I'll be sure to get back to you.
This video is part of a Learn Photography playlist. If you click up above, you can see the full list of videos and you can choose the ones you're interested in. So cameras, there's a few options you can use. DSLR, mobile phone, action camera, camcorder. They all have places in photography depending on where you want to take your work. Obviously photography is mainly photos, but this hobby does lead into videography, so making videos is very closely resembled. So what you may want to think about is the camera that you buy now having the ability to take videos, because I've started with photos but I have gone into making videos now, so that's something to keep in mind. So types of cameras available. If you're sticking to photography, you can think about a small budget and actually get quite a good DSLR camera. Some cameras that are available at the moment, some of the older cameras, I still use a Canon 550D. That's like 10 years old now, 9 years, 2009 I think it came out in. So that's something that is still available. They still work fine. I use it for video and for photos, and my original camera was a Canon 500D. So that was actually older than my 550. So that's something to think about, especially if you go on eBay and have a quick look around. Second-hand cameras is an option. You don't want to go and get a brand new one, because if you're quite early at this stage, you may not know if you want to make this a full-time career or if you get your money's worth, if that makes sense. Because you could go into a Jessop's, for example, or into an online store where they sell just new cameras and spend easily £600-700 on a body, £500-600 on a lens, and before you know it, you're looking at £1,000. So look at options that can get you introduced so you can learn the basics. So what we'll do is I'll link you to a little segment I made when I was looking at cameras, just to see what sort of prices they are. So if I take you on my phone.
Okay, so just for this example, I've got eBay up and I'm going to search DSLR camera. Let's see what comes up. So there's a couple of options here. Let's just see what's the cheapest. Okay, so there you can see Canon 10D DSLR camera, body, battery and charger with a memory card for £74.99. So that is a fairly cheap camera. I mean, under 80 quid. That is from its day a professional, well, semi-professional maybe, probably 10-15 years old, but I wouldn't mind using that. I mean, it's giving you still options to study pictures, generic battery, okay, full working condition, some signs of use, which is fine. But let's just go and have a look at his feedback and see who the seller is, just so it gives you an idea. Because on eBay you have to be careful. Obviously there can be some people out there messing about, and 100% positive feedback. Generally sells camera gear, no negative, all positive. So it looks interesting. That's something I would consider. So as your cheapest option, if you're looking for a DSLR, keep in mind this won't do video, but if you're getting interested, it'll give you all the options you need to have. Okay, let's do another quick one here. So I just do photography camera. I'm doing this as if I'm new to photography, so terms I'd be searching for. I'll do a few little extra things on here. I'll make sure to be buy it now. Let's keep it within the UK. So if I do just the UK only, and price range, let's put some figures in there. Something maybe like £200 and £300. This is a bit more higher price, so we get a kit lens and a body. And we'll see what's available here. So as I'm a Canon shooter, I'm going to keep it to Canon. That's because I've got lenses and everything else that I can use with it. But it's across the board. I mean, whether it's Canon, Nikon, whatever camera you look at, Sony, the same kind of concepts apply. So just pick your favorite or pick one that you think you like the sound of. Canon. Okay, this looks interesting. 7D. So you'll get an option there. That's your body only actually. But then again, let's have a look at some others. Let's make it a bit more kit. Yes, if I put kit, it'll include a lens as well. What have we got come up now then? Okay, there we go. That doesn't seem too bad. 300, I think we can do a bit better than that though. Let's see if there's some. It looks decent condition. Flip out screen. So if you're thinking about doing vlogging or even videos of yourself, you'll have a flip out screen to see yourself as you record it. It'll do 1080p up to 60 frames a second, a 700D. So yeah, 18 megapixel camera, plenty enough for getting interested. And let's have a look at his feedback. Okay. Items for sale. He's only got the one item. He's been selling for a while. So is there anything else here we've got? Okay, here we go. Look, 275. That's a 650D. So a little earlier model than the 700. However, is very limited. Yeah, okay, that looks quite nice. 275. So there you go. There's two scales now. One is a old camera, which you will just take photos. This one you'll do video with as well. And again, 3 people watching. Good condition. Comes with original camera bag. Okay, low shutter count. Yeah, that's not bad. So you see there, already a quick search, and I've seen 2 options that I'd be happy to buy.
Action cameras. This is a Goodmans action camera, and it takes photos. So don't let the ability of taking photos be limited by the types of cameras you use. So you don't have to have a DSLR. This takes photos, given not great photos. However, depending on your budget and your requirement, you can use smaller cameras to take pictures. With this, the good thing about it is you can put it in the case and you can use that in an action scenario. So if you're maybe riding a bike, you're doing some skydiving, anything, you can attach that by mounts, set it to take pictures, and you'll have some pictures. Given I've not had great results with these, however, I'm comparing that to DSLR photos and quality. But if that's all you know, and I know a lot of people watching this will have different types of scenarios, budgets and things available to them, so there's nothing wrong with taking photos with an action camera. It's not a GoPro. GoPro's a brand name, so this is just a normal action camera. That's one option. Some people still use camcorders. I still use camcorders when I'm out and about because it's great to take photos with. They actually do offer a photo option on the camcorder, so it's got image stabilization as well, so you can use that to take photos while you're out and about. So that's another option for using while taking photos. My 550D, trusty 550, small camera, 50mm lens, takes photos. So that little segment there was basically me doing a search to let you know what types of cameras are available. However, I've got a few other options. Good old mobile phone takes amazing photos, so don't let it stop you. Get interested in it, use what you have, and see where you come out. So there are limitations of different types of cameras, especially if you're buying an older camera. If it's just going to be for photography, you're fine. What you will find is, like I found, if you learn the basics on an old camera, you'll be flying high with a new camera. The last thing you want to be looking at is the camera. What capabilities has it got? So those 3 things, like shutter speed, ISO and aperture, are key. But I'll try and explain them as little jargon as possible in coming episodes. I'll give each of them a dedicated episode to give you a breakdown. But in this episode, because we're talking about cameras, we want to make sure that we have the ability to adjust those settings. Because you may have a point and shoot camera or even a mobile phone, but you have to get an app to allow you to actually go into like a pro mode, they call it, where you can adjust those features. But there's nothing wrong with shooting with a mobile phone. They do take great photos. But if you want to experiment a bit more, look at some cheap options for some old cameras. You can get a nice camera for 100 quid, as the example I showed. And once you've got that, then you can use that to build your skills and find out if this hobby is for you. Because there's no reason to not explore it and then discover, actually, no, I'm not quite interested, but you wouldn't have lost a lot of income. That's not to say if you bought an expensive camera and you lost interest, you could still sell it and get some of your money back. So there are pros and cons to both. So the benefits of cameras: newer cameras tend to work better in low light. There's more features like focus tracking. Obviously there's a lot more that new cameras offer. But if you want to take photos, don't let the gear stop you. You don't need expensive gear. You can have a basic camera and a good understanding and you'll fly. So portability is an option. If you're buying a big bulky DSLR but you're looking to do travel vlogs, then it's going to be an extra thing you'll have to keep with you and take care of. So maybe looking at lighter options. Action cameras, especially GoPros these days, are really good. Do your research, look online, but if you get a cheap camera, you can't go wrong. especially the couple of the ones that I've covered.